Hey everyone, I'm New Name, and if you're new here, you may not know that I love both old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, and this is my Comparing RuneScape series. A series where I take a look at areas, items, or various other things across both RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape and compare them, see where they're similar and where they're different. This episode, we will be taking a look at the areas of Edgeville and the Barbarian Village. So, make sure to subscribe if you aren't. Check out the Discord, which should be linked down below, and enjoy the areas. Let me know down below what areas you'd like me to take a look at next. I am doing an old school Iron Man series, so certain areas I haven't unlocked yet, like Priffendis, but hopefully we'll get to that one day. Without further ado, we'll take a look at the area of Edgeville. So, with this series, I like to first start with a flyover of the area. Edgeville's super small, so it shouldn't be too bad. But as you can see, these are the jailhouse. You have the furnace room over here, the bank, the shop over here, the hut. I forget his name. I'm bad at that. For where you do Dragon Slayer. And you have the monastery, as well as Evil Dave's house right over here. Then you have, of course, the famous yew trees, Soul Wars portal, and the entrance into the Edgeville Underground, which leads over into the Varrock sewers. So, now that we've taken a look at Edgeville from above on old school RuneScape, I'm going to hop over to RuneScape 3, and we'll take a look over there. Okay, guys, here we are on RuneScape 3 over Edgeville. As you can see right in front of us, we have the jailhouse. You have over here is going to be the furnace building, the room with, or the house with all of the men. Probably the biggest difference, if you ask me, besides the graphics, is that the famous wilderness ditch has been replaced with a wall. I kind of like it just because of the big difference it adds in the appearance of the game. You can see over here, the house looks a little different. One other thing that's majorly different is we have the monastery. Just kidding. It looks almost the exact same, if you ask me. Very little has changed about it. Then over here, we take a look. You can actually see that the roof has caved in for the area over by the trees, the yew trees, and then you have the Soul Wars portal. And, of course, you have Barbarian Village down south, but we'll take a look at that later. First, we're going to go ahead and walk into all of these buildings on old school RuneScape and take a look at the inside. Okay, so I've thrown on my Graceful so that way I don't hopefully run out of run energy, but here we are in the main area. You have the Wilderness Slayer boss is actually located here in old school RuneScape. RuneScape 3 does have a Wilderness Slayer boss, but he is found in the deep wilderness ever since they removed PvP or made it toggleable on RuneScape 3. But there you have the Slayer Master, and we'll take a look over here inside of the furnace hut. As you can see, I think the furnace is kind of small. But, you know, size doesn't matter. The big ones hurt. And then over here we have the house with all of the men. And, you know, where you kill them, get some herbs if you need them at your early levels. And upstairs where you can go see the clan cup. Which is pretty interesting. I actually didn't know that until I just walked up there. So over here we have the famous bank, of course. Cool. You always have a poll booth here. And then we can go over here, take a look at Evil Dave's house. While we're over here, we'll poke our heads into the store, general store. They're everywhere. Get what you need at the general store. Then over here is going to be Oziak. That's his name. I knew I'd remember it at some point. Oziak, where you get your gear, but I haven't done Dragon Slayer on my Iron Man. So, whoops. Then, like I said, now we'll go over to Evil Dave's house, take a look on inside. You can go ahead, go into the basement, and this is where you can hunt for the spices for your spicy stews. Old school RuneScape has the behemoth cats or rats where you can kill them to get like larger spices. We don't have that on RuneScape 3. So I'm very jealous because, man, otherwise, if I'm going for a boost, I have to go crazy down here trying to get the stews. And so, yep, we'll go ahead, head back upstairs, and just run into the monastery while we're over here. Because that, to me, is the next most iconic thing in the area. I realize what we don't have here on old school RuneScape is the area with the cockroaches and the school. So you don't have that here, which is interesting. That's been one of my most memorable places ever since it came out. But yep, so this is the monastery. We'll go upstairs. Not much. Of course, altar. Just kind of showing you guys what it looks like inside. Now we'll head over to RuneScape 3 and take a look around over there. Okay, here we are over on RuneScape 3. To make things easier, I have the legacy interface on just so my old school RuneScape viewers aren't overwhelmed. Or if you're just joining us from old school RuneScape, you don't get overwhelmed. And if we can see, the house here is actually locked. So there is nothing inside, actually. It's just a locked building. Maybe it's part of a quest and I'm just an idiot, but, you know, can't go in to show you anything right now. And we'll go over here, take a look at the furnace. As you can see, RuneScape 3's furnace is a little bit bigger. So, but like we said, don't let that fool you about the quality. And over here we have the bank. You can see it's a little bit similar. We don't have a poll booth. Instead, we get a desk because they stopped pulling things in RuneScape 3 like a month after they started the polls because they kind of gave up. And over here, the house basically is the exact same on the inside, except we don't have a hay pile. And yeah, basically the same upstairs, except no portal. The other big thing is we have Mr. X, where this guy gives you a hood to change your, indicate how many kills you have in the wilderness, or he also allows you to set your Iron Man account so it is permanently an Iron Man, which is very useful if you're nervous about getting hacked or anything. We have the general store, get what you need here at the general store, pretty much the same. This is another thing we have here on RuneScape 3 is we have safes. So there is a safe located here. That's a form of thieving. You crack open the safe. It's fairly fast XP too. But let's go ahead, take a look over at Oziak's hut. Walk on inside. Look at this hut. It's pretty much the same as it is on the other game. Same rough design. Not really much change. Just a slight appearance. Though one huge thing that is different here on RuneScape 3 is you can actually enter King Black Dragon's lair from here. So you do not get, like, you get a damage boost if you go all the way to the one in the wilderness. But here we do not. So here, I'll show you. Go on in, and here we are, King Black Dragon. Now I gotta leave or he will kill me because I don't have any anti-fire or any protection on right now. Next, I think it's cool if we come over here into the monastery. It's a little bit different, but it's basically the exact same layout. First floor, second floor, pretty much the exact same thing. We'll go up, and yep, as you can see, really no difference. Like just some slight graphical updates. This is definitely an area that is lacking, if you ask me. But before we finish off with Edgeville, let's go ahead and take a look over here and go into the basement for Evil Dave's. And I will show you guys just how, really, in my opinion, old school RuneScape did the basement better. Because, yeah, we don't have the behemoth rats. And if you look, it almost looks like they didn't even bother updating the underground. It's like they just kind of threw some textures on, upgraded the textures, and then left it alone. And it hasn't been touched since. But that is Edgeville. So we'll go ahead, though, and One last thing before we go over, I want to show you the inside of the schoolhouse before we go to the Barbarian Village and show you on both games just kind of what that looks like. So I go inside. I can't. I've got to go all the way through the underground. But yeah, there you go. Kind of see, it's a schoolhouse. This used to be a place where you would be taught things about the game, but it kind of isn't anymore. So now I'm going to hop over to RuneScape, or old school RuneScape, and we will take a look at the Barbarian Village from above. Since Edgeville is such a small place, I decided, like I said at the beginning of the video, we will also be looking at Barbarian Village. So this is also very small, but, you know, just thought we should take a look. Of course, you have the main hall, you have the couple huts, you have the entrance into the stronghold of security, the pottery wheels, and that's basically it. So yeah, now I'm going to hop over to RuneScape 3, and we'll take a look at this area from above. Well, irony is, if you ask me, that it's basically the exact same as it is on old school RuneScape, except just like a texture reskin, and that's about it. The rocks are a little different, but yeah, the houses are all the exact same. So yeah, that's it. That's Barbarian Village. Not much difference. We'll take a look at the inside like we did with Edgeville. So I'm gonna hop over back to old school RuneScape. Here we are back on old school RuneScape. We'll just run into these buildings really quick. And you can see nothing of importance. The pottery wheel and the pottery oven. For all the soft clay you can't get in this area. Then you have the helmet shop, which we'll take a look here. Make sure and a trade, as you can see, get full helms up to Addy and med helms up to Addy. And over here we have the spinning wheel. And then in here is the Grand Hall. And just to show you guys, I'm going to enter the Stronghold of Security, and we're going to take a look at just the top floor, because really there's zero difference between this and RuneScape 3. Like literally just a couple skin changes on some of the creatures, and that's about it. I think if I were to look at every level, this video would just be way too long, and I personally don't think it's that big of a difference to even take a look. So there is the inside of Barbarian Village on old school RuneScape. Let's finish up and take a look on RuneScape 3. Well, here we are. Let's open the Grand Hall, take a look inside. Yep, not much, basically the same. Then we will take a look at the helmet shop. We'll see what they sell. Full helms, med helms, up to Addy. Pretty cool. Not much difference. Then you have the spinning wheel, and if we come over here to the empty house, it's still empty. And if we come over here to the pottery oven, it's still a pottery oven. And then they threw an anvil in here, so in case you wanted to use that. But now we'll go ahead, climb down to the Stronghold of Security, and see, like, the wall texture is the same. They haven't even updated the wall texture. The wolves are basically the same. The Minotaur's got an upgrade. That's about it. That's pretty much it. It's basically each floor looks the exact same as it does on old school RuneScape. So, yeah, this area has definitely aged and been forgotten. Well, guys, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys like to take a look at both old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, visually see the differences. Sometimes we look at weapons or gear as well. Other times we just look at the cities. If you enjoyed, make sure to give the video a like, share it with your friends, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe if you aren't, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.